What's going on, everybody? The best part about the preseason is you get to just see your team play football. And the Giants are back once again this Sunday against the Bengals. And even better than that, Brian Daboll said he expects the starters to be playing once again. That'll be exciting. If you're ready to see the Giants back on the gridiron, I want you to like this video. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to break down the 3 cuts that the Giants made to get down to 85 players on the roster. And then there's some news coming out of Giants training camp around Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones. Brian Daboll had some interesting things to say about Tyrod Taylor potentially running with the first offense. And Kadarius Toney, he's back at practice. We're going to break all that down. But let's start with the cuts. And the first one was Jeremiah Hall, the undrafted free agent out of Oklahoma, the H-back. Played a little bit of tight end, played a little bit of fullback. He was signed as a UDFA back on May 12th after a 4-year career at Oklahoma. And he played 6 snaps in the preseason opener last week at New England. This is what the tight end depth chart is now going to look like. Ricky Seals-Jones has still not practiced yet during Giants training camp. Unknown reason, so I have him hurt on this depth chart. I think if he comes back, he can earn a roster spot and be that tight end 1A and 1B with Daniel Bellinger. Then you got Jordan Akins, Austin Allen, and Chris Myriak to round out the tight end depth chart. Gavin Heslop was also a guy that was cut today on cut day for the New York Giants. Heslop was signed as a free agent on July 22nd. He played 3 games for the Seattle Seahawks in 2020 and 2021 and 1 special team snap against the Patriots. This is someone that was on an uphill battle to make this roster. This is what the current cornerback depth chart looks like. Heslop, he was signed just a couple of days and weeks before training camp got opened. Uphill battle to make the roster. Dory Jackson and Aaron Robinson, as well as Darnay Holmes, are kind of cemented into that CB1, CB2, and slot position. But after that, it's a battle. Unfortunately, Heslop will no longer be competing as he is going on waivers. Austin Proehl, he was also waived, but waived with an IR designation, meaning if he does not get claimed by another team, the Giants will be able to add him to their injured reserve. He was signed by the Giants back in February, and he has been with 7 NFL organizations, but has never played in a regular season game. Now let's take a look at what this depth chart looks like. Golladay, Shepard, Toney, and Robinson, they're all safe. But it's a battle for if the Giants are going to keep 6 or 7 wide receivers. I think it's going to come down to Richie James, Colin Johnson, Darius Slayton, and C.J. Board. C.J. Board is a special team specialist, so I think he's going to make this roster, and then I think you only get 2 of Richie James, Colin Johnson, and Darius Slayton. But I want to give a shout-out to Jeremiah Hall, Gavin Heslop, and Austin Proehl, just for making it this far. They achieved their NFL dreams, and today, it's a shitty day for them. So I want everyone to, let's get the good vibes rolling. Type good luck in the comment section. Hopefully this isn't the end of their football careers. Hopefully they get picked up in waivers or get another shot to make a team next offseason. Unfortunately, it is, though, with the New York Giants for this season. Maybe they get brought back. You never know. But show them some love. Type good luck in the comment section right now. And this is why you subscribe to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. Because when news comes out, when rumors comes out, me, my producer, Matthew Peterson, we get in the lab and get you guys a video as soon as possible. We're also going to be going live on the channel this week, Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. And then we'll be live once again Sunday for week 2 of the preseason. So subscribe, turn your notifications on, and help us get to 11,000 subscribers. The Giants also signed a player late last night. Olaijah Griffin, the cornerback, he was formerly of the Buffalo Bills. He didn't really actually ever play for the Buffalo Bills, though. He was waived by them last week. The Giants were awarded him in waivers. Such a weird phrasing to say. You were awarded Olaijah Griffin. But Griffin spent the entire 2021 season with the Bills practice squad, and he was a UDFA rookie back in 2021 at a USC. This is going to be a depth piece for the Giants. You know, they were already a little bit thin at the cornerback spot, and he has some familiarity with Brian Daboll and Joe Shane after his time in Buffalo. Giants.com did a good write-up of Olaijah Griffin. It kind of broke down the type of player that he is. He said, Buffalo signed Griffin to reserve's future contract in January and released him yesterday. Griffin played 37 snaps on defense and 8 on special teams in the Bills preseason opener versus the Indianapolis Colts. He was credited with 1 solo tackle In 3 seasons at USC, Griffin played in 25 games and was credited with 67 tackles. He also intercepted 1 pass and had 14 passes defended. Griffin's going to have an uphill battle to make this roster. We showed you that cornerback depth chart a little bit ago. He's going to have to really do some things in week 2 and week 3 of the preseason. The Giants also cut 3 players yesterday. We broke that down in yesterday's video. Michael Jacquet, Josh Revis, the undrafted free agent, and Gerard Wilson are no longer with the Giants. So as the Giants continue to wind their roster down from 90 to 85, and then we're going to keep on going and get to 53 players, there's going to be some surprise cut candidates. We always see that when you get to the end of the preseason in NFL teams. You always have that one guy. Like, dang, I thought he was going to make the roster. I didn't think he was going to be cut. I want you guys to predict it in the comments section. Who is going to be the biggest surprise cut candidate for the Giants when they got to get down to 53 players? Let me know what you think down in the comments section. I also want to give a shout out to today's proud sportsbook partner, BetUS. When you go to chatsports.com/bet and you use the promo code CHAT125, they're going to hook you guys up with a 125% deposit bonus. You can bet on the preseason this Sunday if you're a degenerate like me, or if you want to wait till the NFL season gets kicked off, you can do that. But get started today by going to chatsports.com/bet. Make sure you use the promo code CHAT125 so you get hooked up with that 125% deposit bonus. Yesterday's video, we talked about what Brian Daboll said about Kadarius Toney. And Daboll said he doesn't expect Toney to practice at all this week. Kind of a load management thing. He's had a little bit of a hamstring and knee, kind of some nicks and bruises. He had that offseason knee surgery. But he was back today at practice, and that was a surprise. We didn't think he was going to be back. Did some individual stuff, ran some routes for some quarterbacks. Wasn't a full go, but he was back out there, and that was good to see because the Giants, they need Kadarius Toney to stay healthy. He's the only guy, I feel like, at this wide receiver position that really has that X-factor ability. Kenny Golladay, he's not the player we thought we were going to get coming over from the Detroit Lions. Who knows when Sterling Shepard's going to be healthy? We can't ask too much of Wan'Dale Robinson in his rookie year. But Kadarius Toney, the former first-round draft pick, if he evolves into being a top 15, 20, 25 receiver in the NFL, he can catapult this offense from being a below-average unit to a much better unit. That's the type of playmaking ability he has, and the Giants need him to be healthy because he might be the most important piece on this offense, in my opinion, behind Andrew Thomas. We also have some news about the quarterback, I don't even want to say battle because it's not. The Giants insider on Twitter, he tweeted this out, but there was some clarification and the actual video came out. But at 9:17 this morning, he said Brian Daboll says Tyrod Taylor will get some reps with the ones, and it's not an indictment on Daniel Jones. It's always the plan. Take that as you will. And then I watched the video. I saw it on my Twitter feed right before today's video started. Brian Daboll said he might get some reps with the first team, but that's what all NFL teams do. I also thought this tweet, and we'll break that down a little bit more, when Madeline Burke tweeted this out as well early this morning. She said that Brian Daboll said, I think Joe Shane, the Giants GM, and I are on the same page. Whoever performs the best is going to play. And that's what you want to hear out of your head coach. You don't want to hear, no, we're going to let Daniel Jones be the quarterback all 17 games, even if he's terrible. No, you need to implement a competitive team and style into your locker room, and that's what Daboll, that's what Shane are doing. That's what a good regime does. They don't just hand the starting quarterback job to Daniel Jones because he was the starter before he got there. He's going to have to earn it. But this is normal for NFL teams, to give their backup quarterbacks reps with the first offense in training camp. You want to kind of put them in those spontaneous situations where the quarterback goes down and he gets hurt and the backup has to go in right away. You might not tell, your backup quarterback in Tyrod Taylor when he needs to go in, but he needs to be ready, and that's kind of the thing. The rapport between Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor, I think, is already discussed between them. Daniel Jones is the starter. Tyrod Taylor, I've heard it said both ways. I've heard him say it both ways, so I'm going to say it both ways. But it's a vet versus a player that's trying to make it in the NFL. I understand that if Daniel Jones struggles as a Giant fan, we want to see this team win, and you want Tyrod Taylor to be the guy that replaces Daniel Jones. But does it really make all that much sense to do it in week 1, week 2? I think Daniel Jones deserves at least the first half of the season to prove to me, to prove to you, himself, his agent, the coach, and everyone on this team that he can be the guy. Because we already know what Tyrod Taylor is. He's a damn good backup and a good bridge quarterback for the guy we might have to draft next year. But saying that Tyrod Taylor should start week 1, I think is a little bit hot takey. Let Daniel Jones go out there. If he plays himself out of the starting role by week 5, week 6, week 7, then I think you put in Tyrod Taylor. But I do want to ask you guys this question. Not who starts week 1, not who you think you want to start or who will start. Who do you think starts more games this year? Because I could see a situation where, let's say the Giants are 1-7, 2-6. Then they would put Tyrod Taylor in. But I want to hear from you. Type 8 for DJ, type 2 for Tyrod Taylor. I also want to talk about this tweet because it's not a Giants Now episode if we don't rip on Kenny Golladay a little bit. Kenny Golladay made a nice grab over the middle on Adoree Jackson in a 7-on-7 drill. That's good news. And the bad news is that Golladay then fumbled. Adoree Jackson punched it out. Golladay was frustrated and flung the ball down the field. He's just a frustrated player at this point. And I'm getting a little bit frustrated because I feel like the lack of energy is not really something that you can make an excuse for. It oftentimes seems like he's not engaged, like he's not going 100%, whether he's hurt. I don't know. If I don't know you're hurt, I'm going to judge you like you're healthy. But at the end of the day, the Giants just have to have Kenny Golladay show up and be a better football player this year and what he was in that one drive of the preseason. If he wants to be on the roster going into 2023, because that $18 million cap hit, if he doesn't play good, it's going to be his last season in New York. Let's look at the injury report, and then we got some Ring of Honor stuff at the end of the show. Dan Duggan, one of the best people on the Giants beat, covers for The Athletic. He said the players not spotted at practice once again was Ricky Seals-Jones, his 12th straight practice. Shane Lemieux because of that foot. Blake Martinez, his 3rd straight practice. I think he's just kind of getting the load management days because of that knee injury. Still working back from that ACL tear. And Ellerson Smith, who hurt himself in one-on-one pass rush drills and kind of a non-contact injury. His foot and ankle were not there. Players on the side. Running back Gary Brightwell for the 2nd day. Matt Breida, John Feliciano, Josh Azudu, Jamil Douglas, Jihad Ward, Cordell Flott nursing that a groin injury that he suffered in the first game of the training camp, and Rodarius Williams. He said Toney is now running on the side after participating in individual drills. So not a full workload for our guy Kadarius Toney, but he was out there. That's the injury report. A lot of people on it. And going into week 2 of the preseason, there's going to be a lot of playing time for some guys that might not get reps because, the injuries and the depth chart is very, very thin. Before we get out of here, though, I want to show some love to the 2022 New York Giants Ring of Honor class. 7 members were inducted. Former running backs Joe Morris, Otis Anderson, Rodney Hampton, DN Leonard Marshall, DB Jimmy Patton, halfback wide receiver Kyle Rote, and Senior Vice President of Medical Services Ronnie Barnes. Salute to all those guys. That's the highest honor you could reach in this franchise, is getting inducted into the Ring of Honor. So let's show them some love. Type congrats in the comments section right now. And if you made it this far in the video, today's a long video. How long is it, PD? 13 and a half. It's going to be about a 30 minute video. If you made it this far, that means you're a real one. And let me know you're a real one by commenting that in the comment section right now. Real one roll call. Like to, decipher the real ones from the fake ones. I'll see you down in the comment section if you're a real one.